This week, I will be telling you a special story from Sabah called The Gift of the Winter Melon. Come join me. Hi everyone, my name is Heidi. I'm a Malaysian author. Welcome back. Last week, I told you the other version of Bawang Putih Bawang Merah, and in that version, we explored the theme of what it means to be good and what it means to be bad. This week's story has similar themes, except that it is told from the point of view of a man. It has a male perspective, so that's quite interesting. This story is called The Gift of the Winter Melon, and in Malay, the story is known as Dewi Labu kundur, which literally translates to the goddess of the winter melon. Labu means pumpkin or melon, and Labu kundur apparently means a winter melon, which is not a vegetable that I'm familiar with. So I don't have any Labu kundur to show you today. Sorry. This reference to melons and pumpkins is quite interesting because we find a lot of pumpkins in Nusantara folktales. I'll have to do a list of all the stories with pumpkins in it to show you. Anyway, before I start, I just want to mention that in this episode, I've actually commissioned some beautiful artwork from a local artist named Sam. I put his details down below if you want to have a look at his IG. So let's listen to the story and enjoy Sam's beautiful artwork. Once upon a time, there lived a kind and handsome man called Anak-Anak who lived in a village in the land below the wind. Land below the wind often refers to the state of Sabah in East Malaysia. So one day, Anak-Anak was in the jungle, in the forest. He was looking for some food to eat. Unfortunately, he couldn't find any animals to hunt, and he couldn't find any fruits or vegetables to gather, so he decided to go home. On his way home, he came across a strange old woman who looked at him and smiled, and she said to him, "What are you looking for, young man?" Now, Anak-Anak was a bit of a joker, and he said to the woman, "You know what? I'm looking for a wife." And the woman said to him, "Looking for a wife is easy, but finding one is not." And the woman said to him, "I can help you, but you must follow me home, and I will tell you how you can find a good wife." Now, Anak-Anak may have been joking about finding a wife, but actually he was thinking of settling down, and he did want to find a good wife to marry and have a family with. So he decided to follow the old woman. The old woman led him deep into the forest to her house. But before they entered the house, she turned to him and told him these two instructions. She said, "If you want to find a good wife, you must do these two tasks. Number one, you must go inside the house, and you will find my children. You must beat up my children and beat them up good and proper. Make sure they are battered and bruised." Okay? Now, the second condition is, after you've beaten up my children, you must go to the back of my house. That's where I have my vegetable plot and my fruit trees. I want you to burn it all down. Now, Anak-Anak was a bit surprised with these two conditions, but he just said, okay. And he went inside, and he saw, as soon as he stepped inside the house, he saw 10 beautiful children laughing and playing. They were tumbling around, having a great time, and they looked so happy and joyful that he knew that he wouldn't have the heart to beat them up. So instead, he just sat down and enjoyed watching the children play and listening to their laughter. And then after a while, he decided to go look at the vegetable garden in the back. He opened the door and stepped out into this beautiful, lush garden. There were durian trees, rambutan trees. There were ripe green vegetables ready to be plucked. And once again, he knew that he would not have the heart to burn down this beautiful garden. So instead, he sat under the tree and enjoyed the beauty of the garden. Now, after a while, the old woman returned to her home, and she saw that Anak-Anak had not fulfilled the two requirements, the two tasks that she set out for him. But she didn't say anything. She invited Anak-Anak over for dinner, and they enjoyed a lovely meal with the children. And she said to him, "It's getting late now. Why don't you stay over? You can sleep over and you can return home the next day." So the next day, Anak-Anak got up. He said goodbye to the old woman, but before he left, she gave him a melon, a winter melon. And she said to him, when you reach the river, throw this melon into the river and then you will get the wife that you deserve. So anak-anak thought, oh, this is quite a strange request, but never mind. I already failed in my task yesterday. I can at least throw this melon into the river. So he took the melon and went home, and when he reached the river, he threw the melon into the river. For a while, the melon just sort of bobbed up and down in the water, but then something miraculous happened. The melon popped open, exploded open, and out of it popped the most beautiful girl anak-anak had ever seen. The beautiful maiden turned towards anak-anak. She smiled at him and she said to him, I am the goddess of the winter melon, and if you want, I can be your wife. Now, anak-anak couldn't say no to that. He knew that a goddess would make the perfect wife. So he took her home, they got married, and he was very, very happy. And soon everyone in his village found out how anak-anak had managed to get this great wife. One of these villagers, a lazy and greedy man by the name of Bongkoron, decided that, I too want to get a nice wife like anak-anak. I'm going to copy exactly what anak-anak did and try to find me a good wife. So Bongkoron went into the forest, he looked around, he walked around, pretended that he was lost. Finally, he met up with the old woman who asked him the same thing. She looked at Bongkoron and she said to him, what are you looking for, young man? And Bongkoron replied, I am looking for a wife. So the old woman invited Bongkoron home, and before they stepped inside the house, she gave him the 2 tasks that he needed to complete in order to get a good wife. She said, if you complete these 2 tasks, you'll get the wife that you deserve. So number 1, you must go in. I have children in the house. You must beat them up good and proper. Make sure they are battered and bruised. Bongkoron nodded and said, yes, okay, I can do that. The second thing that you have to do is go to the back of my house, into my vegetable garden, into my vegetable plot. I want you to burn it all down. And Bongkoron nodded and said, yes, okay, fine, I can do that. So Bongkoron went into the house. He saw the beautiful children tumbling and playing and laughing and singing. And he gathered them together and beat them up. He battered and bruised them good and proper. He didn't even think twice about whether what he was doing was right. He just followed the old woman's instructions. And then after he beat up the children, he went to the back of the house. He saw the beautiful durian trees. He saw all the vegetables and the flowers. And he took a light and he torched the place. He burned it to the ground. So Bongkoron actually carried out the 2 tasks that were set by the old woman. When the old woman came home, she saw what he had done. She fixed him with a hard stare, and then she gave him a winter melon. She said to him, here, take this melon. When you get to the river, throw it in. Then you will get the wife that you deserve. Bongkoron grabbed the winter melon. He didn't even bother to say thank you to the old woman. He ran to the river, and when he got there, he threw the melon into the river. Bongkoron was so impatient that he just jumped into the river. His hands found a body and he quickly pulled her up the river bank. What a shock he got when he saw that there was no beautiful maiden for him. The woman from the melon was an old hag. Her gray hair reached her knees and her yellow eyes stared at him. She started to laugh and she said to him, I am the other goddess of the winter melon, and you will take me for a wife. Bongkoron leaped up and raced into the jungle, but the other goddess, although old, was very fast, and she soon caught up to her husband. After that, Bongkoron was never seen again. The end. As you can see, this story also has 3 main characters. So you have the good guy, anak-anak, the bad guy, Bongkoron, and a wise old woman who seems to have the power to bestow reward or punishment on the 2 protagonists. So this story not only falls under the category of good deeds and bad deeds, it also recognizes the agency of the wise, respected female figure who has the power to reward or punish, which is why I like this story so much. There are not very many stories which recognizes the power of an older woman. So this story really stands out. It's interesting that the mission she sets out for these two men are not really considered male tasks. Typical male tasks include things like hunting or, going on a quest. In fact, the tasks that she sets out are conventionally female tasks. So the first one is taking care of the children, and the second one is tending to the garden, the vegetable plot. So Anak-anak passes this test because he manages to take good care of the children, basically by not beating them up, and by also respecting the garden, respecting nature. And his reward is a beautiful goddess, a beautiful wife. The old woman's approval of Anak-anak's behavior is an endorsement of family values such as nurturing respect, patience, and diligence. On the other hand, her punishment of Bongkorun reflects society's rejection of the values that he represents. So he is greedy, he's lazy, he's impatient, and he's selfish. So these are considered negative traits which hinder the process of civilization. However, even though this tale recognizes the power of the older woman, it's still slightly problematic because it still conforms to male-dominated views, in that Anak-anak's reward is this lovely maiden, this gorgeous, beautiful maiden, whereas Bongkoran is punished with an ugly old hag. So the tale suggests that beautiful young women are still seen as a prize, as a reward. So even though this story highlights the power of the agency of the older woman, it is still somewhat patriarchal. So what did you think of this story? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please do leave a comment below. If you like this video and my other videos, please do like and subscribe to my channel so that this video can reach more of you out there. Please do support me in my mission to get these Nusantara fairy tales out into the world. That is the end of this video, but don't go just yet. Check out episode 35, which is Bawang Putih Bawang Merah and the Magic Pumpkin, which is similar to this tale. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.